Well, this is not going to plan, is it? This whole new Freddie era. 2-1 down at Brighton with 3 minutes to go. People leaving the stadium in the 89th, 90th minute. I mean, it's... Oh, man, there's barely anyone there anyway. They'll say, oh, there's 50,000 people here. But actually, it's 30, 40,000. They count season tickets even if they don't arrive, it seems. I don't know, man. This is really depressing. Just watching this. It's as if Emery hasn't left. And that's, I think, a key issue with having Freddie. He has learnt everything he knows over the last 6 months from Emery. It's not good. He's picked up some of the habits, hasn't he? I don't know. It's too early to tell whether Freddie is going to be a good manager or not in his career, but one thing's for sure, he's not ready right now. And I said that right from the start. I'm not expecting Freddie to be made permanent manager. Oh, we got a chance here. Oh, no, never mind. We're such a spineless team. You see people ducking out of challenges, stepping out of shots, just terrified of getting hurt. Yes, I get that, injuries are awful, but it's going to happen whether you like it or not in football. It's a contact sport. Throw your goddamn body in the way. And again, we've talked so much about how Arsenal have been bad under Emery, how he wasn't able to manage the team properly, how we were not performing under Emery. But you're seeing the same thing under Freddie. Maybe our team's just a bit shit, Maybe it is that simple. Excuse my cursing language. Oh my God, Xhaka has just lost it in midfield. Here goes Trossard, I believe, up against David Luiz. Oh, is he going to get a shot away? He is. It's just over the bar. I would have had to change the graphics. That would have been a shame. Really, honestly though, Brighton have been very, very good tonight. Big fan of their manager. What's his name? Is it Potters? Something like that. Took over in the summer. He's done so well with them. And they've come to the Emirates, which isn't a tough task these days, it seems. And they've got a really good 3 points as of right now. There's a minute left to go. I'm getting into a bit of a habit of this, aren't I? Starting the video before the game's even finished. But I just get so many thoughts going through my head. I just need to get them out. I need to get them out while I'm thinking about it. Tierney with a god-awful cross. Interesting substitution, that. Why take off Kolasinac, bring in Tierney with 20 minutes to go when we needed a winner? I get that maybe Tierney's still trying to get back to full fitness, but... we could have done much more. I really appreciated the Pepe sub, though, at half-time. I'm just not sure why he's not starting. We looked a much better side with Pepe. Oh, my God, look how empty the stands are. Oh, it's a sad, sad time to be an Arsenal fan. It really is. I think this is going to be game over now. Let's have a look. Are we going to get the final whistle here? And there it goes. Oh. We're still playing, apparently. Just end it. There we go. Unbelievable, man. I've got it on mute right now, but I'm guessing there is a lot of booing going on right now. Freddie, 2 games, 1 point, up against Norwich and Brighton. This season's over, there's no doubt about it, as if it wasn't already, but this has just confirmed it for me. Freddie Ljungberg is a nice guy, he's a club legend, and I completely understand using a manager like him, or an assistant manager in that case with Emery, just to step in for a couple of weeks to steady the ship. But you can clearly see he's picked up bad habits while listening to Emery, and he hasn't really had time to adjust the squad. And it's fine. I don't blame Freddie, but ultimately we need a proper world-class manager to step in the next few weeks, hopefully days. I mean, before the next game, preferably, but I don't think that's going to happen. As long as we get someone in before the end of the December games, I think we can go into the window and hopefully spend some money on our defence, because that is our downfall. David Luiz, I mean, it's so difficult because I like him. I like David Luiz, but defensively, I mean, you might as well not have him. You might as well just have a gap there, because he doesn't offer anything defensively. If anything, the only thing I like about David Luiz in our side is the way he can ping out those great long 80-yard passes and find someone. And I like how dangerous he is in the box. We quite often look a threat with David Luiz in the box. He scored today, but it was correctly ruled offside. But defensively, especially when you're next to Socrates or Mustafi, it's comedy. If anything, we are Comedy FC. We've already mentioned that many, many times this season and over the last 5 or 6 years, to be fair. But as I said, fully deserved win for Brighton. All credit to them. What went wrong today? Well, the lineup is questionable once again. It feels like it is impossible these days as an Arsenal fan to actually see a lineup and go, yeah, that's a good one. I'm happy with that. There's always something. There is always something wrong with the lineup. I would have liked to have seen Chambers in centre-back. I've said it before. At right-back, he's not quite quick enough. Shift him into centre-back, we will see. He's a much, much better option than Socrates and David Luiz and Mustafi. Arguably, he's been better than Holding as well. Holding's been out for so long, but since Holding came back as well, gosh, hasn't been great for him. So Chambers is arguably our best centre-back right now, which says a lot about the quality of our defence. Granit Xhaka didn't have a bad game. I know he lost the ball there in the last 4 minutes. He's probably exhausted. But doesn't really offer us anything. And this was a home game where you expect a player like Xhaka to really control things in midfield. And we got Torreira next to him, which was good. I really, really thought Torreira had a decent game today. But again, he's getting caught going too far forward, whether he's been instructed to by Ljungberg or Ljungberg. I know you're not really meant to pronounce the L, are you? It seems the same thing is happening that was happening with Emery. You know, we're seeing players just out of position. Torreira still getting forward too much. But the thing is, you know, you can see it. When Torreira's got the ball, he's very good with the ball. And I can kind of see why you would want him to advance a little bit. He's quite technically gifted, but we all know his best position is at defensive midfield. And just put him there. It really isn't that difficult. And we started with Willock, which, again, you know, I rate the fact that managers these days, Ljungberg, Emery, want to give the youth a chance, but I haven't really seen much from Willock over the last few weeks, months. I mean, he started the season well, but really, since a couple of games after the Newcastle, the first game, he hasn't really offered anything, and I don't think he's earned that position. So if you're playing Willock and you're playing Ozil and you're trying to get Lacazette and Aubameyang in there, everything's very centralised and we really lack width. And you saw as soon as Pepe come on, what a difference that makes, just having an outlet on that right side. And Aubameyang's being wasted in this team. Our top scorer is being pushed out wide because we want Lacazette, we want Ozil all pushing through centrally. And then Mesut Ozil's drifting out to the left and couldn't get involved today, pretty much went missing. Typical Mesut Ozil. It's all very frustrating and it's a difficult one. It's a difficult puzzle to solve because what do you do with the lineup? What do you do with the team? How do you get all the best players into the team? Unfortunately, you are going to have to drop one of them. In my opinion, it probably is Mesut that has to be dropped out of the top 4, the top 5 players that go attacking wise. I think we need width, so Pepe has to be in there on the right side. And whether we go with Saka on the left side or we bring in another left-sided player at some point. And I know what's going to happen if we do spend big in the window. It's going to be a winger, isn't it? Or an attacking midfielder because we don't seem to sign proper centre-backs. When was the last time we blew 60 million on our defence? It doesn't happen. So I guess then you do kind of have to put Aubameyang on the left. It's a 4-3-3 for me. I honestly believe, you know, if we set up with Leno in goal, Bellerin, Chambers, Holding, Tierney, and then you go with Torreira just in front of the back 4. So effectively just screening the 2 centre-backs, just making sure he's there, cutting out interceptions and stuff. Then I would like to see Guendouzi and maybe Ceballos, or maybe it is Granit, or maybe it's Willock, whoever. And then I would like to see Mesut kind of a little bit further forward, and I would like to see maybe, if Mesut's in, then you kind of can't have Willock. Oh, it's so difficult. If you're going for a midfield 3, I think Torreira, Guendouzi, and then maybe you have a Mesut or maybe a Willock in there. It's very difficult. So I'd go for a midfield 3 and then a front 3. You have Pepe on the right, Aubameyang on the left, and Lacazette up top. And those front 3 can all just kind of rotate. But clearly, that's not what we're going to be doing. Even though I strongly believe that would be our best lineup, a 4-3-3 with a holding midfielder. It does mean you play without a central attacking midfielder, but Torreira sitting back is so worth it. He's such a great player to break up the play, so quick, and he's a pit bull, isn't he? And then if you do have a Guendouzi, a Granit Xhaka, or even a Willock, Mesut, just pushing forward a little bit every now and again, especially Mesut. Guendouzi can be a bit more box-to-box. I think you just have a much more balanced midfield, but it really doesn't feel like either Emery or Ljungberg see that. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe something goes on in training. They don't think they can trust that kind of setup. But whatever it is, the season's done and we have to go into the market. We have to. There's no doubt that without an injection into this midfield or defence of quality, that we're not going to go anywhere. If anything, I think we'll finish outside the top 6 if we play like this for the rest of the season, which is shocking. And that brings me on to really the toughest thing to talk about, and this is kind of the future that's on the line here. We have players that are running their contracts down. Players like Aubameyang and Lacazette who have one big move left in their career potentially. You've got Mesut who is on such high money, he's not going to go anywhere, and it could be that he's going to be here for 2 more years with that kind of money draining away. We won't be able to bring anyone else in. Imagine if Aubameyang leaves. Imagine if Pepe eventually moves on as well. I know he hasn't been great, but he's a great asset to have at the club right now. He will come good, I'm sure of it. These players won't stick around if we're not in the Champions League, but that's not even the worst thing. It's typically in the past, it's okay if you lose the odd player because you can just bring someone else in. Arsene Wenger will go out, reach a player that's one of the best in the world at the moment, young, athletic, whatever, has so much potential, and convince him to join. But if we don't get a top quality manager without Champions League, without at least the Europa League, there's no way we're going to attract anyone. So this could be the beginning of the end of Arsenal being a top club, genuinely, and I'm worried about this because results like this and how slowly we're getting worse. It's not exactly like we've got time to quickly get back in that top 4. We don't have the kind of funds that other clubs have, and with financial fair play regulations, there's no way we can just overhaul the side. We've got what we've got. We have some quality players, but this season is so vital. A top 4 finish, winning the Europa League, is the only way we're going to keep attracting players of this quality. A top 4 quality side. It's really, really worrying because results like this genuinely are having a massive effect on the future of the club. Which manager is going to go to a club like Arsenal if we finish 7th this season and get knocked out in the quarters of the Europa League? I mean, no one's going to want to take that job on because it's nothing but failure. They're going to find it difficult to bring in good players. They're going to find it very difficult to replicate what Wenger was able to do in his long reign. And the fans are so demanding. They pay the most money in Europe, it seems, as well. It's not a good concoction, is it? It's not good at all. And that has me really worried. I honestly feel like if things stay the way they are right now, in 2 to 3 years, there won't be a question that Arsenal are not a top 4 side. Every year for the last decade, it's been Arsenal, they are still a top 4 side. They're just not consistently getting there, and they're just off. They're 1 player away, but soon that's going to be, well, they're 5 players away and a manager away and a few good seasons getting into the top 6 away from being a top 4 club, and that's when you become irrelevant. It's really difficult. I love Freddie, but this, again, is just another example today that he's not ready for it. We need to bring in a manager in the next 4 weeks. Minimum 3 weeks, I would say, maximum, I should say, because the window's going to be opening soon. We need to spend money on a centre-back, even if it means we sell one of our current ones to make up some of the funds. I'm sure we can do it. We make a lot of money as a club, but you can see with the fans not turning up, that will wither away as well. The fans pay for these big moves mostly, so yeah, tough times as an Arsenal fan. It's not good fun to watch. We're not going anywhere. It's depressing.